We've now had 2 consecutive years of Valentine's Day specials on this channel, and you might have noticed a lack of operators who fall into the yes category. There's a reason for that, and it's definitely not you. Believe me, you are awesome. No, the reason is the way Arknights handles its characters. We will talk about that for a bit today and discuss why most operators are no's and always will be no's. I will still make one of those videos every year, so they are fun to make and you guys seem to enjoy watching them. They are just light-hearted operator characterizations at the end of the day. Now, why does your Arknights waifu not love you? It takes 2 to be lonely, so there's 2 reasons. The writing of you and the writing of our operators. Hold up, the writing of you? Well, yes. And no. You see, this right here technically is you, but it's also not you. You play Arknights through the eyes of the Doctor, who just got out of a year-long cryostasis, a character with no apparent characteristics, perfect for self-insertion. Below this hood and coat, the Doctor could be anything. The only piece of skin we ever see of them is their hand, a pretty ugly hand, if I may say so, looks like a Chancellor Palpatine cosplay. But in the later chapters of the story and in certain events, you will learn one important thing about the Doctor. They are a full-blown character, they have a backstory of many years, they have their own personality, and many characters have their distinct views on them based on their experience with them before the cryostasis. The for us right now most important aspect is the personality. Yes, this homie from med school has one, even if it isn't that apparent. One perfect example for that are pretty much all dialogue options when talking to Mummy, Kalzit. She gives the Doctor a hard time, and they aren't having it, putting up an attitude when talking to her. The phrasing might always vary a bit, but my sadness stays the same. If there was one thing I could change about this game, it would be the dialogue options with her. They just make me sad. There, that was my answer for the next big obsessive community collab. The Doctor has a personality. This is going to become even more apparent once the Arknights anime will drop. Ezio with a medical degree will appear in it and will be voiced. They will be forced to say stuff, and definitely more than in the game. Anyway, back to our topic. Why did I just invest like 2 minutes into explaining to you that the Doctor has a personality? Look, a couple of you fellas have described this year's Valentine's Day video as 11 minutes of rejection, but let me tell you something, you can't get rejected if you don't ask her out. I think that you should always give it a shot, but the Doctor doesn't. If the Doctor would actively try to get a couple of yeses, there might or might not be a couple more yeses, but he doesn't. This character who you are playing as just doesn't care about getting Willy and Coochie, and that's reason number 1 for us. The Doctor doesn't actively try. They aren't written as a harem master. Now, let's talk about the other side of things, the operators. This is one thing I love about Arknights, especially when compared to other gacha games. Arknights isn't a harem simulator. I have not tried out a ton of other gacha games, but those who I have tried out all have some sort of oathing or marriage system. That's not the case with Arknights. I mean, I get the appeal of a mechanic like that, I really do, believe me, but it's kinda weird if the final step in the relation between you and your operator is marriage every single time. Most gacha games have some sort of affinity mechanic. If you use a character in combat, their affinity increases. In Arknights, that's the trust system. That name for it, trust, on its own, perfectly encapsulates the way Arknights handles this sort of thing. The more time you spend with an operator in battle, the more trust they put into you. As their trust into you reaches certain levels, they start opening up to you. You unlock new voice lines in which they talk about themselves. They share their opinions on you and the world. Max trust does not mean that she's in love with you, it just means that she trusts you. Nothing more, nothing less. They reveal their thoughts, not their body. Them putting their trust into you does not mean that you can put anything into them. That adds a certain, I would say, seriousness to the game. Terra and its dangers would not be that horrible if you were greeted by 100 wives and husbands once you returned from the battlefield, everyone asking you whether you want a bath, a dinner or a monthly card first. But that's not the case, they all have their own stuff to worry about, and that's our reason number 2. There is no reason for your operators to fall for the Doctor. They aren't written that way. Okay, to summarize everything and to come to a conclusion, the writing style of the Arknights MC and the Arknights characters is the main reason. Both the Doctor and every operator have their own stuff to think about, they aren't just a harem master and many harem members. The Doctor does not exist as a pure self-insert with the goal of marrying everyone they meet, and the operators are written as actual characters and not as love interests. And you know what? I like that. It kinda makes everything a bit more realistic, I guess. Drop your opinion on that in the comments. What do you prefer? Realistic characters or a harem simulation? You know who I prefer? My insane channel supporters and operators, and my beautiful channel commanders. Ankoku, Ezreal, Sessif, Chris, Daniel Henriquez, Demoboy125, Erwin Heckler, Eisel, Heiligkeit, Longo, LWKY, Written, and Zephyrinix. Thanks a lot for your support, guys, and to you, thanks for watching. And I hope I will see you next time. Cheers!